Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our program, D.A.D's Corner, Daughters of Africa in the Diaspora, where we invite women of African origin, including Americans, to tell us what they do, where they do it, and how they do it to impact their community and the whole world. With me today in the studio is Honorable Joyce Adewumi, a New York-based NGO charity organizer, as well as a member of the New York Women's Forum, where I met her for the first time in my life in New York. And ever since then, Honorable Adewumi and myself, we've been friends and we've been relating to one another on issues concerning our NGOs, our non-governmental organizations, which we run in our private states, hers in New York, mine in New Jersey. Honorable Adewumi, once again, you are welcome to this program.
Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Okeke. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
And what I would like you to do for us before we start is to introduce yourself by letting us know your academic background, where you schooled, and what you schooled in.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot.
Go ahead. We have all the time. Just paraphrase it. Go
Okay.
ahead.
All right. So, my family first came to the US when I was 8 years old. So I received a lot of my education in the US. And then I transferred to Nigeria to complete my graduate and postgraduate degrees. I schooled at University of Ife as well as University of Ibadan. Um, I was retained after my first degree to teach. I studied music and dance. So I was retained to teach right after my first degree. Um, and I taught at the University of Ife, University of Nigeria, as well as University of Uyo before,
Wow.
before I finally made up my mind that I was coming to the US. Although I used to go back and forth, you know. So
Mm,
that's it. And then, so I came back to the US.
that's very interesting.
Okay.
I have watched some of your events on TV,
Mm.
and you are the head of the New York Music Ensemble. Could you let us know what that is?
Yes, I founded a nonprofit organization called New York African Chorus Ensemble, basically to promote Nigerian art specifically and African art in general, because I felt that it was important as someone living in the US to make sure that the voices of my people are heard, Africans on the continent, being that here in New York is a very diverse city. You have, they call New York the home to the world. So I didn't want to be um, overshadowed or to disappear in the society, as it were. So I wanted our culture to be promoted, and also as a classically trained singer, I did not just want to sing European songs. I wanted that the world to know about African Nigerian composers. And so I founded the organization New York African Chorus Ensemble. But it's not just a chorus, we also produce different events, such as the New York City Multicultural Festival, the Gathering concerts. We also organize conferences, music conferences, such as Dialogue Africa Meets North America in Harlem. Um, we also do certain programs for mothers of autistic children. We do some programs for them. Yes, so that's in short some of the programs that we do. Um, yeah. Mhm.
New York City, as all of us know, have a very big multicultural diversity. In fact, they call New York as a melting pot of a melting pot city where everybody from every part of the world is in New York. How do you encompass all these groups to the program that you're doing?
Well, thank you for that question. Um, Let me just, how did the festival start? It was 2009. We had a lot of hate crimes in the city, and the police, the relationship between the police also and the civilians was, very bad. So the chief of police, one of them, started going around to speak to community leaders and asked if the community leaders could help to create programs that will help to reduce hate crimes and foster better relationship between the civilians and the police department. So I went to him and I said, what I can think about is a festival because I'm in the arts. I know quite a lot of arts organizations that represent different countries. They invite me to their parade, so you have something like the Irish parade, the Puerto Rican parade, in the African American parade, so many different parades. So I told him, I said, what I think we need to do is to bring everybody together in celebration of our diverse cultures. So as we learn from one another, we will see that we have more similarities than differences. And I asked that the police also be allowed to participate in the festival. Um, and because most of the time when people engage with the police, it's either they're being arrested or they're witnessing a crime in process and the police trying to deal with that issue. So I said that we should have that type of festival, which would be a peaceful environment for civilians to engage with law enforcement. So he said yes. He said, let's do this. So I started contacting the arts organizations that represent different countries that I knew of, and I asked them to contact other people as well. So, 2010, we had our first New York City Multicultural Festival. But at that time, the name was called Celebrate Diversity, Celebrate You. But we changed the name later on when we realized that, this is really the definitive festival that celebrates, the largest festival that celebrates cultural diversity in New York City. So I work with a lot of New York City arts organizations to put together this festival.
I know that in this country, getting people of different backgrounds together is very difficult, very, very difficult. And as I heard from you, it must have been a big task that you were doing. And what challenges did you face doing that?
A lot
Yeah.
of challenges, especially from Nigerians.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You are indicting us. When the organizer is a Nigerian, why should we be the challenge to our own coordinator?
Exactly. Exactly. But really, I was lucky, or I'm lucky because I am in the arts and I engage very well in different artistic activities that go on in the city. So that had afforded me the opportunity to know quite a lot of arts organizations. So when I started, I was able to invite quite a lot of them to participate. So that one was a plus. Um, uh, Problem was also funding. Funding, when we first started, we didn't have sufficient funding to pay anybody.
Mhm.
But the arts organization were so understanding, and they understood the importance of the festival because as immigrants, we tend to be overlooked. And many of our immigrant population, they only perform in their cultural conclave. But this
Mhm.
was now giving them a platform, a citywide platform to
An
expose.
exposure, more or less.
Exactly. Yes, it was because we spent a lot of money in doing promotional materials.
You can
You know,
imagine.
yes, and because of this festival, a lot of groups have been able to participate in other events because
Mm.
they we do this very magnificent brochure with their names and everything on it, and they take it to other, um, you know, really great venues, that can pay what we cannot pay, but they're able to show this brochure to them there, and this allows them to participate at these venues because they
Mm.
say we took part in the New York City Multicultural Festival. Look at our program. The program is professionally done, and a lot of people have told me that this festival opened up doors for them. Yeah.
And so, what is behind the Africa Meets North America in Harlem?
Hmm. Okay. That conference was to showcase how African music influenced the music of the world, or even led to the formation of the music of the world. For instance, we talked about uh, in America, we talked about how the Africans who were enslaved in this country started off from the work song to the blues, from the blues to the jazz. Jazz has become now a worldwide genre, but it came out of the Africans who were enslaved, in this country. So that there, because you have the rhythm, the African rhythm, the African treatment of harmony, so many different things that you see there is just from Africa. We also have the music, the salsa, it has a lot of African influence in it, so
Mm.
we were just looking at all the different music in the world that Africa influenced. And we need to promote what's ours. We tend to relegate it to the background because we feel, or we've been made to feel, that the white people are superior, whereas everything they have is really an offshoot of what we have, you
True.
know? So,
Very true.
yes, so the festival, the conference, was to highlight the fact that all this music that you have in the world, most of them that you have in the world, they were um, influenced by African music, or Africans who carried the African elements to where the musical elements to where they found themselves. And so I think after doing that, Africans need to continue to promote what we have. There's a saying in Nigeria, in Yoruba, among Yoruba people, that "Katabani langbila ruge," meaning that that which we have is what we elevate,
Hmm.
what we
True.
praise. So we need to promote our arts. It's being utilized all over the world, but we are not doing what we should be doing with our cultural expressions. And so I'm just trying to give us an idea of what can be done with what we have. There's so much that can be done. Look at Lion King. This is all about Africa, but it's
True.
not
Very
owned
true.
by an African. It's not owned by an African. It's not directed by an African. You
Mm.
know, so if we were to just look into our culture and elevate what we have, these are, this is what the world want to hear, want to see. In the tourism industry, I told them, I said, nobody's coming to any African country to come and look at your church or your mosque. They're
Yeah.
not interested in that because they have that here, you know. But they want to see, what do you have? What's the traditional things you have? Where's this history? What's your history? Where are the sacred waters, the sacred mountains, the magical places, that we have, the mermaids that we have? They will pay to see that. But we have relegated all that in the background. We have been made to believe that it is demonic. But then when we look in this country, go to Disney World, what do you see? You see mermaid. People are buying,
Yes. Mhm.
spending so much money for the fake mermaid. Meanwhile, we have the real one. you know,
That's true.
people
That's
are
true.
spending so much money for water rides. We have water. We even have spiritual waters.
True.
People are
Mhm.
spending so much money here, for spiritual water, whereas it's free in Nigeria. Go to Oshun Shogbo Festival. It's free, you know. So um that's what I am trying to do, trying to create awareness amongst us and give us that courage to appreciate the things that God have given us.
How far have you looked into our Nigerian philanthropists who, well, the ones they call the money bags? How much have you sold all these idea to them for sponsorship? Because from what you are saying, you need money to run this.
I do need a lot of money to run this, and I will be fair to the philanthropists. I'll be fair and say that um, I have not gone to a lot of them,
Mm,
partly because of uh, the generally held idea that the arts is for vagabonds, you know?
that's not true.
Well, that's not true, but that is what some people think. That if you're in the arts, then you must be loose and you're wasting your life doing, dancing naked
That,
on stage, and it's for people who didn't go to school, who are
oh
not
my
intelligent. We hear that. I heard all that.
oh my God.
So when I first started my organization, New York City Multicultural Festival, I did go to some Nigerians and I said, listen, I have an idea. I want to organize this. Let's do this. Let's do that. They discouraged me. They said,
Mm,
no, it's not going to work. Here I am, 2003, and this is what, 2021? Hmm?
mhm,
They
mhm,
said it won't work. But
mm,
meanwhile, this organization has netted me so much, given me so
mm.
much. I've received so many awards,
Oh, that's
uncountable.
interesting. That's very interesting.
And I'm
Let us
funded by the city, so a state. Hmm.
let's take a short break for now, and then we'll be right back. Viewers, please stay tuned. We're coming right back. Okay, I think we're back. Honorable Adewumi,
Yes, ma'am.
um, to my knowledge, New York has a lot of boroughs, and boroughs that include where the Black people live, where mixed Black people live, where the Spanish people live, where Italians live, where African Americans live, and where Americans live, and so forth and so on. How do you how how have you involved some or all the boroughs in New York City?
All the boroughs are involved in the New York City Multicultural Festival. Actually, let me just say they're involved in everything that I do. We outreach to all the boroughs and they all come to the event that we do, the New York City Multicultural Festival, as well as the gathering concert series that we do. Oh, I also have to say that because of the pandemic, we started a series called The Space, and The Space is a virtual series that looks at the contributions of people of African descent. So it's a speaker series. So I reach out to all the boroughs to get uh, invited guests to feature in our programs. I also wanted to say before we went on break that We don't realize, we Nigerians, we Africans don't realize that investing in the arts can net us a great deal of money. I'm willing to show any investor how to make money through the arts. Because in 2016, there was a study by American for the Arts. There was a study that New York City put in $2 million into the arts, invested $2 million in the arts, and got back $12 million.
Wow.
Yes. So if any investor is ready, I can show you how to make money through the arts, either in this country or in Nigeria. We have not even touched the tip of the iceberg yet when it comes to our cultural arts. The possibilities of tourism, of the arts and culture that we have not exploited it. We have not. It's just lying there fallow, and white people come and they take aspects of it that they want to, and they go away. Even our films, we have not even, our music. If I tell you, we have not. So any investor that is ready to invest their money, come to me. I will show you how to make the money.
Well, that leads me to my next question of, there are lots of, Nigerians in America. Oh my goodness. You can't even start counting them because the number is staggering. It is. Okay. How would you sell this festival idea of the arts to other Nigerians outside of the tri-state area? In fact, to the rest of the 47 or 48 states of the United States.
Oh,
Because there are people who are not just around here who might be better oriented with what you're doing with the arts than the people around you in the tri-states, which is New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut.
so are we talking just only of Nigerians? How will I sell this to
Well,
Nigerians?
charity at home, we have to start from them.
Well, we have to understand something, Ma. We, our approach to the arts as Nigerians, it's a little bit, and I want to say this with full respect to Nigerians, we're not really interested in the arts. We're not.
Mm.
Because historically, we have been led to think that if our children go to school, what they should study is they should study are medicine,
Medicine,
the
law,
law profession, yes,
law.
engineering, yes,
Yeah,
yes, you know. So it's in a very unique family that you will find that the parents take their children to a concert
exactly.
or even to Radio City Music Hall because they don't aspire for their children to go into the arts, to be a dancer, a ballet dancer, or any type of dancer, to be a musician. They don't aspire to that because of the generally held belief that somebody in the arts must be loose, you
Mm.
know, morally loose. So it's difficult to get Nigerians to be involved because of that mindset. So it will require some re-education, which I simply don't even have the time for. I'm sorry, you
No,
know,
nobody has time for that.
right. But Nigerians need to open their minds, see what's happening. The people who are making millions, the Beyoncés of the world,
Yes,
are making millions and we are buying their music.
it's true. It's
That
true.
could have been your daughter, you know. I'm talking
Mm.
to Nigerians. It could have been that she could have had Nigerian parents, you know. The Bills of the world, that is the girl that is in gymnastics, right? That
Yeah,
could have been a daughter of a Nigerian parents, right? But
true.
we don't see beyond the medicine, the lawyer, the engineering, we don't see beyond that, you know. So it's a little bit difficult. It's a hard sell. That's why when I said that, and when I started my organization and I spoke to Nigerians that, listen, we can do this and trust me, this is going to be great and whatnot. They just shooed me away.
How do you see the art world, especially where it concerns Nigeria's Nollywood production business?
Again, that's another area where we're not giving them the support that is needed, but still yet the Nollywood is still thriving very well, doing very well, but they can do better with support. That's what is done in this country. You support the arts, it will give you dividends. It will give you lots of profit. But we're not supporting it, but we enjoy watching it once in a while. We'll go on YouTube and we'll watch them, you
Mhm.
know. But really support the industry. Our people, I give them credit. Oh my God, the artists in Nigeria, I give them so much credit because they're doing so much with very little.
With very little, yes,
Very little.
very, very little.
Oh my gosh.
Because if you notice recently, all the big names in the movie industry have more or less withdrawn and gone somewhere else. It's like they used the theater as a step up for their lives, and from there they will move into politics to become commissioners or run in the House of Reps or something like that.
Like,
And you would see the quality of the new actors. Oh my God, the quality is, oh God, you can't even describe it because it is nothing to write home about. Well, Honorable, I am very, very pleased that you came on the show finally, and I appreciate your knowledge of the information you gave us today. And I hope you would try to make a way to involve some other Africans in this area and in your area who are not aware of what you're doing so they can, I mean, for the art people I'm talking about, so then they can contact you to be either involved in the singing and dancing or whatever, because some of them are not aware that such a thing exists in New York.
I would love to have Nigerians participate in what I am doing. I tell you, when I put on that festival, the New York City Multicultural Festival, I have to look around for Nigerians and beg them, come and do this because I can't
Mm,
do everything. I
no,
cannot be
you can't.
producing the festival and still be on stage performing
No, no.
or showcasing our cultures.
Mhm,
So for those Nigerians, we have a lot of program. As I said before, I'm also the cultural ambassador to the Nigerian consulate in New York. So
wow.
we're going to be doing a lot of programs. So if you are interested, contact me. You can reach me but you can't write this everywhere because I don't want anybody to be having, sometimes they have robots who just
Okay.
email you. But
Yeah.
so you can reach me at, I'm going to give you phone numbers.
Okay.
You can call me at 347-938-9335, or you can go to our website and fill out the form there. Our website is, there are two of them. You can either go to multiculturalfestival.nyc. That's multiculturalfestival.nyc. Um, there is a form you can fill out, or you can go to www.nyafricanensemble.com. That's www.nyafricanensemble.com. And you
Okay.
can drop us a message there and we'll get in touch with you. We'll love to have a lot of people who can dance, teach dance, um, sing, tell stories, storytellers, everything that is Nigerian, we are looking for.
Thank you. Thank you very much for all that information and the information to reach you. Viewers, you've been listening to Honorable Joyce Adewumi, the founder of the African Musical Ensemble, who resides in New York. You've had a litany of what she does and where they do it, and she just gave you information on how to reach them. I'm referring now to those people with arts background. If you are a singer, if you are a storyteller, if you are a book writer, if you are an actor, and you want some sort of exposure, get in touch with her, and she'll be able to, work with you in your own area and in her own capacity. Thank you very much for being on this show, and we'll be talking to you next time in a very near future. Thank you.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I admire you. You are one of our really timbers in the community. Thank you for this
Wow,
exposure that you're giving us as well. We really appreciate you. Thank you.
you're welcome.